Coffee is one of the most popular and widely consumed beverages in the world, with more than 2 billion cups of coffee being drunk every day. Coffee is made from the roasted seeds, or beans, of the coffee plant, which is native to Africa and Asia, but now grown in more than 70 countries around the world. Coffee beans contain hundreds of different compounds, some of which have significant effects on the human body and health. The most well-known and widely studied compound in coffee is caffeine, but there are also other compounds, such as chlorogenic acids, polyphenols, and diterpenes that can have various benefits and risks for your health. In this video, we will look at each of these compounds and how they can affect your health in different ways, depending on the amount, the type, and the preparation of coffee, as well as your individual characteristics, such as your age, gender, genetics, metabolism, health status, and medication use. First, let's talk about caffeine, the most famous and notorious compound in coffee. Caffeine is a natural stimulant that can affect the central nervous system, the cardiovascular system, and the endocrine system. Caffeine can improve alertness, mood, and cognitive performance, especially in people who are sleep-deprived or have low tolerance. Caffeine can also enhance physical performance by increasing the release of adrenaline and the breakdown of fat. Caffeine can also have some protective effects against some diseases, such as Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, and type 2 diabetes, by modulating the activity of some neurotransmitters, such as dopamine and adenosine. However, caffeine can also have some negative effects, such as anxiety, jitteriness, insomnia, and palpitations, especially in people who are sensitive or consume too much. Caffeine can also increase blood pressure, heart rate, and urine output, and may worsen some health conditions such as panic disorder, glaucoma, and osteoporosis. Caffeine can also interact with some medications, such as antidepressants, anticoagulants, and painkillers, and may reduce their effectiveness or increase their side effects. Therefore, it is important to limit the intake of caffeine to no more than 400 milliliters per day, which is equivalent to about 4 cups of brewed coffee or 2 cups of espresso. It is also advisable to avoid drinking coffee late in the day to prevent sleep disturbances. And remember, caffeine is not only found in coffee, but also in other sources, such as tea, chocolate, energy drinks, and some medications, so you need to account for all the sources of caffeine in your diet. Next, let's talk about chlorogenic acids, which are antioxidants that can scavenge free radicals and reduce oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is a condition where the production of reactive oxygen species exceeds the capacity of the body's antioxidant defenses and can cause damage to the cells and tissues, and contribute to aging and disease. Chlorogenic acids can also modulate glucose and lipid metabolism and may lower the risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and some cancers by inhibiting the absorption of glucose in the intestine, stimulating the uptake of glucose in the muscles, and regulating the expression of some genes and enzymes involved in glucose and lipid metabolism. However, chlorogenic acids can also have some drawbacks, such as increasing the levels of homocysteine, an amino acid that is associated with increased risk of cardiovascular disease and dementia by interfering with the metabolism of folate, a vitamin that is essential for the synthesis of DNA and the methylation of homocysteine. Chlorogenic acids can also reduce the absorption of some minerals, such as iron, zinc, and calcium, by forming complexes with them in the intestine, and may interfere with the function of some enzymes, such as cytochrome P450, which is involved in the metabolism of many drugs by inhibiting or inducing their activity. Therefore, it is advisable to drink coffee between meals and not with or immediately after meals to avoid potential nutrient and drug interactions. It is also recommended to consume enough folate from food sources, such as green leafy vegetables, beans, and nuts, or from supplements, to prevent the elevation of homocysteine levels. Another group of compounds in coffee that have been studied are the polyphenols, which are plant chemicals that have anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and anti-cancer properties. Polyphenols can modulate the expression of genes, the activity of enzymes, and the signaling of hormones, and may influence the development and progression of various diseases such as obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative disease, and cancer. Polyphenols can also affect the gut microbiota, which is the community of microorganisms that live in the digestive tract and play a key role in the digestion of food, the synthesis of vitamins, the regulation of immunity, and the protection against pathogens. Polyphenols can act as prebiotics, which are substances that stimulate the growth and activity of beneficial bacteria, such as bifidobacteria and lactobacilli, and may improve the gut health and function. However, polyphenols can also have pro-oxidant effects and may induce DNA damage, cell death, and inflammation, depending on the dose, the type of polyphenol, and the cellular context. Furthermore, polyphenols can affect the bioavailability and efficacy of some drugs, such as antibiotics, antihistamines, and anti-cancer agents, by altering their absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. Therefore, it is important to consult your doctor before drinking coffee if you are taking any medications, especially those with narrow therapeutic windows. A fourth group of compounds in coffee that have been investigated are the diterpenes, which are lipids that can affect the cholesterol and bile acid metabolism. Dterpenes can increase the levels of LDL, or bad, cholesterol, and decrease the levels of HDL, or good, cholesterol, and may increase the risk of coronary heart disease. However, diterpenes can also inhibit the activity of some enzymes, such as 5-lipoxygenase and cyclooxygenase, that are involved in the synthesis of inflammatory mediators and may have anti-inflammatory and anti-cancer effects. Moreover, dterpenes can modulate the activity of some receptors, such as the adenosine and the cannabinoid receptors, that are involved in the regulation of pain, mood, and cognition, and may have analgesic, antidepressant, and neuroprotective effects. The amount of dterpenes in coffee depends on the type of coffee bean, the roasting degree, and the brewing method. Filtered coffee has less dterpenes than unfiltered coffee, such as espresso, French press, or Turkish coffee, because the paper filter can trap most of the dterpenes. Therefore, it is recommended to choose filtered coffee over unfiltered coffee, especially if you have high cholesterol levels or cardiovascular problems. As you can see, coffee is not a simple beverage, but a complex mixture of compounds that can have both positive and negative effects on your health. The benefits and risks of coffee depend on many factors, such as the amount, the frequency, the timing, the type, and the preparation of coffee, as well as your individual characteristics, such as your age, gender, genetics, metabolism, health status, and medication use. Therefore, there is no definitive answer to whether coffee is good or bad for you, but rather a balance of pros and cons that you need to weigh for yourself. The general advice is to drink coffee in moderation, which is about 3 to 4 cups per day, and to pay attention to how coffee affects you personally and adjust your intake accordingly. If you have any medical conditions or take any medications, you should consult your doctor before drinking coffee or limit your consumption to avoid potential interactions. And remember, coffee is not a substitute for a healthy diet and lifestyle, but a complement that can enhance your well-being.